In a world where most people work hard but still feel stuck, a few people manage to break out, build wealth, and design life on their own terms. What makes them different is not luck or talent. It is how they think, what they focus on, and the decisions they repeat every single day. Think and Grow Rich is not just a book about money. It is a roadmap for turning desire into reality, using the power of your mind, your faith, your habits, and the people around you. Napoleon Hill spent more than 20 years studying hundreds of successful people, from business leaders to inventors, and turned their experiences into 13 clear steps that anyone can follow. In this audiobook, you will not hear a dry academic theory. You will walk through practical ideas about desire, faith, persistence, planning, the subconscious mind, and the fears that silently destroy most people's potential. If you listen with attention and apply what you learn, this can become more than just audio in the background. It can be a personal guide to changing how you think about wealth, work, and your own future. Now take a moment to decide what you truly want from your life. Hold that goal in your mind as you listen. Let this book challenge your excuses, expand your vision, and show you exactly how to think and grow rich in every area that matters to you. Most people go through life working hard, hoping for a better future, but never really understanding why some men and women seem to multiply their success while others stay stuck in the same place, year after year. The difference is rarely luck and rarely just talent. The difference is a way of thinking, a way of deciding, and a way of acting that follows clear principles. This audiobook is about those principles. It is about how to turn a vague wish into a burning desire, how to turn desire into a plan, and how to turn that plan into results. The ideas you are about to hear did not come from one man sitting alone with his imagination. They were distilled from the lives of hundreds of successful people. Business leaders, inventors, entrepreneurs, and thinkers who built their own fortunes and shaped the modern world. Their experiences were studied, compared, tested, and organized into a set of simple, repeatable steps. If you listen carefully and apply them honestly, these steps can help you move from drifting to directing your own life. This book is not meant to entertain you for an evening and then be forgotten. It is meant to be studied, revisited, and used as a tool. You will get the most value if you listen with focus, pause when something hits you, and come back to important ideas again and again. The goal is not just to fill your mind with information, but to build a new mental blueprint for how you think about money, work, relationships, and your own potential. As you continue, keep one question in mind. What do I want most? Not what you think you are allowed to want, not what other people expect from you, but what you truly, honestly want your life to become. Hold that answer in your mind, because everything that follows will help you move closer to it. Now, let us begin with the first great lesson. Chapter 1, Introduction. Every great achievement in history started in the same quiet place, someone's mind. Before the invention, before the company, before the movement, there was an idea. Before the idea became clear, there was a desire. Before anyone else could see it, one person felt it strongly enough to act. This book is built on one central truth. What you consistently think about, feel deeply about, and act on with persistence tends to shape your reality. Through years of study, it became clear that successful people share certain habits and attitudes. They are not always the smartest or the most educated, but they almost always have a clear goal, a strong desire to reach it, and a refusal to quit when things go wrong. They learn from failure instead of letting it define them. They surround themselves with people who add ideas and energy instead of people who only criticize and complain. Most importantly, they develop the ability to control their own mind instead of letting fear and doubt control them. This book presents 13 steps toward riches. Riches here does not only mean money, although money is one important part. Riches can also be peace of mind, strong relationships, meaningful work, and a sense of purpose. You can use these steps to build financial success, or to build any other kind of success that matters to you. The same principles apply, but there is a condition. These ideas will not work for someone who is only curious, half-interested, or looking for a quick trick. They are for the person who has a definite goal and is ready to pay the price of discipline, effort, and personal change. If you are willing to do that, the following chapters can become a map. Everything begins with one thing: desire. Chapter 2. Desire, the first step toward riches. Every person who has achieved something great started with a strong desire. Not a light wish, not a casual, "it would be nice," but a clear and burning "I must." A wish is weak. It disappears when life becomes uncomfortable. Desire is different. Desire pulls you forward when you are tired. Desire makes you try one more time when logic says you should give up. Desire is the starting point of all achievement. Look at your own life. There are many things you would like to have: more money, a better body, a different job, more freedom. But if you are honest, you do not take serious, consistent action toward all of them. Why? Because for most of them, your feeling is only a wish. You say you want change, but you tolerate staying the same. The first lesson of this book is simple and uncomfortable. Until you turn a wish into a burning desire, nothing important will change. A burning desire has several characteristics. First, it is specific. "I want to be rich" is vague. "I want to earn this amount in this way by this time" is a clearer desire. Second, it is emotional. You feel it in your body, not just in your head. You can imagine the result so clearly that it excites you and sometimes even scares you. Third, it is backed by a decision. "I am willing to do what it takes as long as it is honest and moral to make this happen." There is a big difference between saying "I would like to have more money" and saying "I am committed to building financial freedom." The first is a passing thought. The second is a statement of identity. Riches in any form respond to commitment, not to casual preference. To turn desire into power, you must give it shape. The mind reacts strongly to clear, definite instructions. So the first practical step is this: decide exactly what you want. Not more, not better, but a concrete result. How much do you want to earn? What kind of work do you want to do? Where do you want to live? What kind of person do you want to become? Vague thoughts create vague results. Once you have defined your desire, you must connect it to a reason. Why do you want this? What will it change in your life? How will it help the people you care about? A strong why gives your desire roots. When you feel lazy, afraid, or discouraged, the why keeps you moving. Without a deep reason, you will quit at the first serious obstacle. Desire alone is not enough. Many people desire success for a moment and then return to their routine. The difference between a wish and a burning desire is what you do every day. A burning desire is fed daily by your thoughts, your words, and your actions. You remind yourself of your goal. You visualize it. You speak about it as something you are moving toward, and you take at least one step toward it every single day, even if it is small. There is another important truth. Life will test your desire. You will face delays, mistakes, failures, criticism, and doubt from others and from your own mind. These tests are not there to destroy you, but to measure how serious you are. When you are 3 feet from gold, it often looks as if nothing is working. Many people give up at that point, not knowing how close they are. Those who continue, guided by a clear desire and a definite plan, are the ones who break through. If you want to use this chapter practically, do not just listen and then move on. Do this simple exercise. After the audio ends, sit down and write your main desire in 1 sentence. Make it specific and positive. Then write why you want it. Then write what you are willing to give in return. Time, effort, learning, service, discipline. Look at this paper every day. Read it out loud in the morning and at night. Let your mind feel that this is where you are going. This is the first step toward riches. A clear, burning desire, defined in detail, supported by a strong reason, and fed daily by thought and action. Without this, the other steps will have nothing solid to build on. With it, you will begin to notice opportunities, ideas, and people that were invisible to you before. In the next chapter, the book turns to the invisible force that turns desire into belief and belief into reality. Faith mixed with repeated suggestion to your own mind. Chapter 3. Faith, the second step toward riches. Desire is the starting point, but by itself it is not yet power. Desire has to be joined with something deeper to survive fear, doubt, and delay. That something is faith. In this context, faith is not just a religious word. It is a mental state in which you genuinely expect your desire to become reality. It is the calm inner conviction that what you are working toward will, in time, appear in your life. Every person lives with some kind of faith. Some people have faith that nothing will ever work out for them. They repeat to themselves, "I never get lucky. People like me don't succeed. I always mess things up." This is negative faith. Their subconscious mind accepts these statements as orders and quietly shapes their behavior and decisions to match them. Other people choose to build a different kind of faith. I learn quickly. I find a way. My past does not control my future. Over time, this positive faith also becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your subconscious mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it repeatedly with emotion tends to grow. It does not argue with you. It does not ask whether your thought is true or false. It simply accepts what you feed it, especially when that thought is repeated often and charged with strong feeling. This is why fear and worry are so dangerous. When you constantly replay images of failure in your mind, you are rehearsing the very outcome you want to avoid. The good news is that the same mechanism can be used deliberately to build faith in your desires. This is where autosuggestion comes in. Autosuggestion is the practice of influencing your own subconscious mind through repeated conscious statements. When you combine desire, clear statements, and emotion, you begin to reprogram the beliefs that run your life. A practical method is simple. Take the written statement of your main desire, the one you created earlier, and turn it into a present tense affirmation. For example, I am building a successful business that earns this amount by this date by providing this kind of value. Read this statement out loud at least twice a day, once in the morning and once before sleep. Do not mumble it mechanically. Visualize it. Feel it as if it were already on its way to you. See the details. Imagine the relief, the pride, the freedom, the gratitude. At first, your mind may resist. You might feel silly or fake. That is normal. For years, you have been practicing a different internal script. You cannot expect a few days of new thoughts to erase a lifetime of old ones. But if you persist, something begins to shift. The words you repeat start to feel less like a lie and more like a possibility. Then they start to feel like a direction. Eventually, they become part of your identity. That is faith being built from the inside out. Faith shows itself in how you act under pressure. When a plan fails, a person without faith sees proof that nothing works and gives up. A person with faith sees feedback, information about what needs to change. They adjust the plan, but not the goal. They do not attach their entire self-worth to one attempt. They trust that consistent effort guided by a clear desire will sooner or later produce results. To use this chapter, do more than understand it. Put it to work. Choose a short statement that connects your desire, your why, and your belief. Read it out loud every day with feeling. Refuse to repeat phrases that weaken you. Become aware of your self-talk when you are alone. Each time you catch yourself saying, "I can't," "It's too late," or "People like me never," stop, correct it, and choose a sentence that supports your future instead of your fears. Faith is not magic. It does not replace effort, planning, or learning. But without faith, your efforts will collapse at the first serious challenge. With faith, backed by desire and action, you develop a calm, stubborn confidence that others can feel. Opportunities tend to flow toward people who move with that kind of inner certainty. In the following chapter, you will discover how to use autosuggestion more precisely as a daily tool for feeding your subconscious mind the exact instructions you want it to follow. Chapter 4, Autosuggestion, the third step toward riches. Your mind is constantly talking to itself. Most of this inner conversation happens so fast and so quietly that you barely notice it. Yet it shapes how you feel, what you attempt, and what you avoid. Autosuggestion is the process of taking control of that inner conversation on purpose. It is how you feed your subconscious mind with deliberate instructions, instead of letting random fears, doubts, and opinions from others dictate your future. Think of your subconscious mind as a powerful engine that never stops running. It takes input from your thoughts, emotions, and experiences, and then quietly drives your habits, reactions, and decisions. If you repeatedly tell yourself, "I'm unlucky," "I'm not good with money," or "I always mess things up," your subconscious mind will accept those statements as commands and act accordingly. If you repeatedly tell yourself, "I learn quickly," "I create value," and "I am building a better future," it will also accept those commands and begin to align your behavior with them. Autosuggestion works through repetition and emotion. A thought you repeat once has little power. A thought you repeat daily with feeling starts to sink into the deeper layers of your mind. When you link your affirmations to a strong desire and a clear picture of the result you want, you are giving your subconscious mind a target. Over time, it begins to notice opportunities, ideas, and connections that match that target. Here is a simple way to use autosuggestion in practice. Take the written statement of your main desire and refine it into a short, clear paragraph. Include these elements: what you want when you intend to have it, what you are willing to give in return, and how you will feel once it is achieved. Then, at least twice a day, read this paragraph out loud. Do it once in the morning, setting the tone for your day. And once at night, just before sleep, when your conscious mind is quiet and your subconscious is most open. When you read your statement, do not rush through the words. Close your eyes for a moment and visualize the result as if it were already happening. See yourself living in that new reality. Imagine the details, where you are, what you are doing, who is with you, how your body feels. Let gratitude and excitement rise within you, even if only a little at first. This emotional charge is what tells your subconscious mind, this matters. Pay attention. At the same time, be aware of the suggestions you allow from outside sources, the people you listen to, the content you consume, and the conversations you repeat. All act as forms of autosuggestion. Constant exposure to negativity, gossip, and hopeless talk is like pouring poison into your own mind. You cannot build a strong, confident belief in your goals if you surround yourself with voices that mock ambition and glorify failure. Autosuggestion is not about lying to yourself or pretending that problems do not exist. It is about choosing which thoughts you will water and which you will starve. When a negative thought appears, I can't do this, it's too late, I always fail. You have a choice. You can agree with it and let it take root, or you can answer it with a stronger, more useful thought. I am still learning. I can improve. Every expert was once a beginner. Over time, this conscious correction becomes automatic. Used consistently, autosuggestion becomes a quiet but powerful force in your life. It strengthens your faith, keeps your desire alive, and influences your behavior without constant effort. You start to notice that you hesitate less, that you take more aligned actions, and that your standards for yourself slowly rise. This is not magic, it is mental training. To apply this chapter, commit to a 30-day test. Every day, morning and night, read your desire statement out loud with feeling. Refuse to casually speak badly about yourself. Limit exposure to voices that drain your belief. At the end of those 30 days, you will likely find that your attitude, energy, and level of action have shifted. That is autosuggestion doing its work. Chapter 5. Specialized Knowledge, the fourth step toward riches. Every day, millions of people carry a huge amount of information in their heads, but only a small number of them turn that information into real power and real income. The difference is not how much they know in general, but how they use specific knowledge in a focused way. General knowledge is what most people collect in school, on social media, and in casual reading. It is wide, but shallow. Specialized knowledge is different. It goes deep into one field or skill, and it becomes valuable when it is organized and applied to a clear purpose. Think of a doctor, a software engineer, a skilled marketer, a top salesperson, or a great designer. None of them became valuable just because they went to school. They became valuable because they mastered a particular type of knowledge and then used it to solve specific problems for other people. Money flows to those who solve important problems. To do that, you need more than dreams and motivation. You need skills, methods, and understanding at a higher level than the average person. This does not mean you must be the smartest person in the room, or that you must collect degrees. It means you must decide what kind of value you want to bring to the world, and then deliberately gather the knowledge necessary to deliver that value. A clear goal will tell you what you need to learn. If you desire to build a successful online business, you might need specialized knowledge in marketing, copywriting, product creation, and customer psychology. If you desire to invest wisely, you need specialized knowledge in finance, markets, risk, and analysis. One of the most important ideas in this chapter is that you do not have to personally possess all the specialized knowledge required for your goal. You only need to know what knowledge is needed and how to access it. Many large fortunes have been built by people who assembled teams of experts around them. They had the vision, the desire, and the leadership to bring together different types of specialized knowledge and direct it toward a single objective. In the modern world, specialized knowledge is more accessible than ever. Online courses, books, podcasts, mentorships, and communities can compress years of experience into hours of learning. But there is a trap: collecting information without taking action. Some people become addicted to learning for learning's sake. They consume course after course, video after video, but their life do not change because they never apply what they learn consistently. To avoid this trap, treat knowledge as a tool, not as entertainment. When you learn something new, ask yourself immediately, how can I use this in my life, my work, or my business? Then apply at least one idea right away. The value of specialized knowledge is not in your memory. It is in its impact on your behavior and your results. Another key point is that knowledge must be constantly updated. The world moves fast. Methods that worked 10 years ago may be outdated today. To remain valuable, you must adopt the attitude of a lifelong student. This does not mean being insecure. It means being curious and humble enough to keep learning even when you are already good at what you do. The moment you believe you know enough and stop improving, you start falling behind. If you feel that you currently lack the knowledge needed for your desires, do not use that as an excuse to stop. Use it as a starting point. Make a simple learning plan. Identify the top 3 skills or subjects that would move you closest to your goal. Find 1 or 2 high-quality resources for each: a book, a course, or a mentor. Dedicate a fixed time each day or each week to studying and practicing. Protect that time like an appointment with your future self. Specialized knowledge without direction can still leave you stuck. That is why it must be combined with your clear desire, your written goal, and your plan. When all of these come together, desire, faith, autosuggestion, and specialized knowledge, you become dangerous in a good way. You stop being just another person who wants success and start becoming a person who has the tools to build it. Remember this: you do not get paid for time, you get paid for value. And the value you bring is based on the problems you can solve, the results you can create, and the unique mix of knowledge and experience you develop. Specialized knowledge is the raw material from which you craft that value. Chapter 6: Imagination. The 5th step toward riches. Everything that exists in your life and in the world around you was once just an idea in someone's mind. The phone in your hand, the building you live in, the job you do, the music you listen to. All of it started as an invisible thought before it became a physical reality. The bridge between the invisible and the visible is imagination. Imagination is the workshop of the mind where desires and knowledge are combined and shaped into practical plans. Many people think of imagination as something only children and artists use, but in truth, every successful person relies on it. An entrepreneur imagines a product or service that does not yet exist, or imagines a better version of something that already exists. An investor imagines future possibilities based on current numbers. A leader imagines a future that is different from the present and inspires others to help build it. In this philosophy, imagination is divided into two main forms. The first is synthetic imagination. This is the ability to take existing ideas, facts, and experiences and rearrange them in new combinations. Most new businesses and inventions are the result of synthetic imagination, not something completely new, but a new mix of what already exists. For example, combining education with entertainment creates edutainment. Combining cars with apps created ride-sharing platforms. Synthetic imagination is available to everyone willing to think creatively about what they already know. The second form is creative imagination. This is the deeper, more mysterious source of ideas that seem to come from nowhere. Sudden insights, flashes of inspiration, and solutions that appear when logic alone cannot find them. Creative imagination often shows up when the mind is calm, focused, and deeply engaged with a problem or desire. It feels like receiving a download from a higher source of intelligence, whether you explain that spiritually or psychologically. To use imagination effectively, you must feed it with material. Desires, goals, specialized knowledge, and experiences all become raw material for your imagination to work with. If you rarely learn anything new, never challenge your mind, and constantly distract yourself, your imagination becomes weak and lazy. If you regularly study, ask questions, and think about how to improve things, your imagination becomes active and productive. A practical way to engage your imagination is to set aside thinking time. Choose a problem or goal that matters to you. Sit quietly with a notebook and write at the top of the page, "How can I?" Then spend at least 20 to 30 minutes listing possible answers without judging them. For example, how can I increase my income this year? Or how can I turn my knowledge into a service or product? At first, your answers might be simple or unrealistic. That is fine. The point is to let your mind stretch. Often the most useful ideas appear after the obvious ones are out of your system. Imagination works best when it is supported by emotion. When you deeply desire a certain outcome and truly believe it is possible, your imagination starts looking for ways to make it real. This is why desire and faith come before this step. Without them, imagination becomes idle fantasy, daydreaming without action. With them, imagination becomes a powerful tool for problem solving and creation. It is important to understand that ideas alone do not create riches. The world is full of people who have great ideas, but never act on them. The value of an idea depends on its application. A simple idea executed consistently can be worth more than a brilliant idea that never leaves the mind. When your imagination gives you a plan or a possibility, capture it quickly, write it down, and then test it in the real world. Imagination also allows you to redesign your self-image. You can use it to see yourself handling challenges calmly, speaking with confidence, managing money wisely, and living the life you desire. The more often you imagine yourself acting as the person you want to become, the easier it becomes to behave that way in reality. Your subconscious mind responds strongly to mental pictures. By repeatedly visualizing a better version of yourself, you are giving your mind new instructions. To apply this chapter, choose one area of your life where you want improvement: money, work, relationships, health, or personal growth. Then use your imagination deliberately. Ask, if I truly believed I could improve this area, what could I try? Generate as many answers as you can. Pick 1 or 2 ideas and act on them. As you do this repeatedly, your imagination will stop being a vague, dreamy force and will become a practical, daily tool. When desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, and imagination begin to work together, you become a creator rather than just a consumer. You stop waiting for life to happen to you and start designing it. In the next chapter, the focus will move from ideas to structure, how to turn your desires and imagined plans into organized, step-by-step actions through organized planning. Chapter 7. Organized Planning, the 6th step toward riches. Desire gives you a target. Faith gives you confidence. Autosuggestion programs your mind. Specialized knowledge and imagination give you tools and ideas. But without a clear plan, all of this energy stays scattered. Organized planning is the step where your desire is crystallized into specific actions. It is the process of turning someday into "this is what I will do next." Many people fail, not because their goal is impossible, but because their plan is vague, unrealistic, or constantly changing. They move in bursts of emotion, highly motivated one week, completely lost the next. Organized planning is the antidote to this chaos. It forces you to decide exactly what you will do, when you will do it, and with whom you will do it. A good plan may begin imperfectly, but it gives you something to improve. The first principle of organized planning is this: no one succeeds alone. Behind every major success, there is usually a team, even if it is small at the beginning. You may start as a one-person operation, but as your vision grows, you will need other people's skills, perspectives, and strengths. This is where the idea of a mastermind group becomes powerful. A group of people who come together in a spirit of harmony to support a shared goal or to support each other's individual goals. To build your plan, start by writing down your main objective in one clear sentence. Then break it into milestones, medium-sized results that must happen on the way to your final goal. For each milestone, list the actions required. Ask what must be done daily, weekly, and monthly. If your goal is to build a profitable business, your plan might include product creation, marketing, sales systems, customer service, and financial tracking, each with specific tasks. Next, assign responsibilities. If you are alone, you still need to know which role you are playing at each moment: creator, marketer, salesperson, operator. If you have partners or team members, decide who handles what. Confusion over roles destroys many plans. Clarity creates momentum. Every important task should have one person who is clearly responsible for making sure it gets done, even if others help. A plan is not real until it is scheduled. Take your list of actions and put them on a calendar. Decide what you will do today, this week, and this month. Even a simple structure like a weekly schedule with fixed blocks for learning, creating, selling, and reviewing can multiply your productivity. Without a scheduled time, planning becomes a form of procrastination disguised as productivity. Expect your first plan to be imperfect. Almost no one gets it right on the first try. This is not a reason to quit. It is a reason to review and adjust. Failure in execution is feedback. When something does not work, ask, was the goal unclear? Was the plan unrealistic? Did I lack knowledge? Did I lack the right people? Did I fail to follow the plan? Answer honestly, then revise. The person who keeps improving their plan while holding on to their desire will eventually find a way. Another key aspect of organized planning is your attitude toward cooperation. Riches in any form are almost always created by serving other people in some way. Your plan should clearly show how you will provide value, not just how you will get paid. Ask, who am I helping? What problem am I solving? Why should they choose me instead of someone else? When your plan is built on real value, it becomes much stronger. You must also be willing to lead. If you are building something meaningful, you will need to make decisions, accept responsibility, and sometimes stand alone when others doubt you. Leadership does not mean arrogance. It means having a clear vision, listening to others, and then choosing a direction. It means giving credit for success and accepting blame when things go wrong while continuing to push forward. To apply this chapter, take your main desire and create a simple but concrete plan. Write it down. Include your goal, your milestones, your daily and weekly actions, the skills you need to develop, and the people you may need to involve. Put your tasks on a calendar. Review your plan at least once a week. Ask what worked, what did not, and what needs to change. Treat your plan as a living document, not a rigid prison. Organized planning is where dreams begin to look like something you can actually build. When you combine a strong desire with a flexible but disciplined plan, you stop drifting and start directing your life. In the next chapter, you will face one of the biggest enemies of any plan, indecision and the habit of postponing action, and you will discover why decision is the mastery of procrastination. Chapter 8. Decision. The seventh step toward riches. Every day, people lose more opportunities to hesitation than to failure. Doors close not because they tried and fell short, but because they never walked through them in the first place. Decision is the power that separates the ones who move forward from the ones who stay stuck. In this philosophy, decision is described as the mastery of procrastination. It is the habit of thinking for yourself, choosing a direction, and acting without endless delay. Indecision is a silent killer of dreams. It shows up as "I'll start tomorrow," "I need to think about it a little longer," or "I'm waiting for the perfect moment." Months and years pass, and nothing important changes. People who succeed in any field are rarely the ones who have all the information, all the time, and all the support. They are usually the ones who made clear decisions with what they had, and then adjusted as they learned more. One of the main reasons people avoid making decisions is fear of criticism and fear of being wrong. They worry too much about what others will say if they fail, so they choose the illusion of safety over the risk of action. But indecision is itself a decision to remain where you are. The price of trying and failing is often much smaller than the price of never trying at all. Temporary embarrassment passes. Regret for wasted years does not. Successful people develop the habit of making decisions quickly and changing them slowly, if at all, and only when there is a clear reason. Unsuccessful people do the opposite. They decide slowly and change their minds often, usually because of other people's opinions. This does not mean you should be stubborn or ignore good advice. It means your final decision must come from your own thinking, aligned with your own goals and values. Decision also means saying no. You cannot move powerfully toward a clear goal if you say yes to every distraction, every request, and every new idea. Each decision to focus on your main objective is also a decision to ignore or postpone something else. Many lives become chaotic not because of a lack of opportunity, but because of a lack of boundaries. Learning to say no calmly and firmly is part of learning to direct your life. To strengthen your decision-making muscle, start with small things. Decide what time you will wake up and keep that decision. Decide what you will work on today and finish it before jumping to something else. Decide which projects truly matter this year and drop the ones that are only wasting your energy. Each completed decision builds self-respect. Your mind begins to trust that when you say, "I will," you mean it. Another important aspect of decision-making is committing publicly when it makes sense. When you tell the right people about your goal and your plan, you create healthy pressure to follow through. You do not need to announce everything to the world, but sharing your commitments with a few supportive people can help you act even when motivation is low. Just make sure you choose people who want to see you win, not people who will mock your efforts. Procrastination often hides behind rational-sounding excuses. I'm researching. I'm waiting to feel ready. I need more time to think. There is a place for research and reflection, but they must end in a decision and a deadline. If you catch yourself consuming information for weeks without making a choice, it is a sign that fear is in control. In those moments, ask yourself, what is one small decision I can make right now that moves me forward? To apply this chapter, choose one important area where you have been stuck in indecision: career, business, education, a project, or a habit. Write down the options you are considering. Give yourself a clear deadline, close in time, to choose one. When the deadline arrives, make the best decision you can with what you know, then commit to acting on it for a set period before reconsidering. During that period, focus on execution, not constant rethinking. Decision transforms vague desire into directed energy. When you decide, you tell your mind and the world, "This is where I'm going." The path may still be unclear, but your direction is set. With each real decision, your confidence grows, your procrastination shrinks, and your life begins to move. In the next chapter, you will see why a decision must be followed by an equally important quality: persistence, the sustained effort that keeps you moving long after the excitement of the first decision has faded. Chapter 9, Persistence, the 8th step toward riches. Many people can start, far fewer can continue. Persistence is the quality that keeps you moving after the excitement fades, after the first plan fails, and after the world tells you no more than once. It is the sustained effort required to turn desire into reality. Without persistence, even the best ideas, the clearest desires, and the strongest plans eventually die. With persistence, an ordinary person can achieve what once looked impossible. Persistence is not just stubbornness. Stubbornness is refusing to change your methods when they clearly do not work. Persistence is refusing to abandon your goal while staying flexible about how you reach it. A persistent person is willing to adjust the plan, learn new skills, and try different strategies. But the inner decision to win remains firm. Failure becomes feedback, not a final verdict. Many forces try to kill persistence: fear of criticism, fear of poverty, fear of failure, lack of support, fatigue, and temporary defeat. Often, the hardest moments come just before a breakthrough. This is why so many people quit when they are 3 feet from gold. They interpret temporary defeat as permanent failure, not realizing that persistence through that phase is exactly what separates them from those who succeed. Persistence is built from a combination of elements you have already encountered in earlier chapters: A burning desire gives you a reason to endure discomfort. Faith gives you confidence that your efforts are not wasted. Autosuggestion keeps your mind focused on your goal instead of your fears. Clear plans and organized action give you something specific to do each day. Together, these create the emotional and mental fuel that supports persistence. 4 simple habits can dramatically increase your persistence. First, have a clear purpose. When your goal is vague, your motivation is weak. When your purpose is strong and personal, you are much more willing to keep going. Second, create a detailed plan of action and start immediately, even if your plan is not perfect. Third, refuse to listen to negative criticism from people who are not building anything themselves. Fourth, surround yourself with at least 1 or 2 people who support your vision and encourage you when your energy drops. Persistence is a muscle. It grows stronger when you use it and weaker when you avoid effort. Each time you decide to keep a promise to yourself, to finish a task, to wake up when the alarm rings, to complete a project, you add a small layer of strength. Each time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your self-trust. Over months and years, these small moments add up to a powerful habit of persistence or a powerful habit of quitting. To apply this chapter, think of a goal where you have started and stopped many times. A business idea, a fitness plan, a learning project, or a personal habit. Ask yourself honestly, did you fail because the goal was impossible or because you stopped too soon? Then choose one of these goals and commit to a new period of persistent effort, 30, 60, or 90 days, where you will act daily regardless of mood. Track your actions, not just your feelings. As you do this, you will begin to see that persistence is not a mysterious gift. It is a choice repeated until it becomes a part of who you are. Persistence turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. It transforms temporary defeat into progress and separates those who only wish from those who eventually win. In the next chapter, you will learn about the power of the mastermind, how joining your persistence with the minds and energies of others can multiply your strength and accelerate your journey toward riches. Chapter 10, The Power of the Mastermind, the 9th step toward riches. No matter how intelligent, disciplined, or creative you are, your individual mind has limits. Your time is limited, your energy is limited, your experience is limited. The people who achieve extraordinary results understand this deeply, and they refuse to rely only on their own strength. Instead, they tap into a higher kind of power, the combined intelligence, experience, and energy of other minds working in harmony toward a purpose. This is the power of the mastermind. A mastermind is not just a group of friends chatting about success. It is a deliberate alliance of 2 or more people who meet regularly, share ideas honestly, and support each other in reaching clear goals. When such a group is formed in a spirit of trust and cooperation, something special happens. The members do not simply add their minds together. They create a third, invisible mind, a shared intelligence that is greater than the sum of its parts. You may have felt this effect before. Perhaps you were in a conversation where ideas seemed to appear out of nowhere, each person building on what others said, and suddenly a solution appeared that none of you could have found alone. That is the mastermind principle at work. When aligned minds come together, they spark each other. One person's strength covers another's weakness. One person's experience saves others from costly mistakes. Motivation spreads. Courage grows. For building riches, the mastermind is especially important. Success in business, investing, or any major project requires different forms of specialized knowledge: strategy, finance, marketing, operations, psychology, and more. It is extremely difficult for one person to master all of these areas at a high level, but by forming alliances with people who excel in different areas, you can access their strengths while focusing on your own. Choosing the right people for a mastermind is critical. You are not looking for complainers, constant doubters, or people who secretly hope you fail. You're looking for individuals who are serious about their own growth, who have complementary skills, and who are willing to give as well as receive. The group must be built on respect, honesty, and a genuine desire to see each other succeed. Without this harmony, the mastermind loses its power. A simple structure can make a mastermind group very effective. The members agree on how often to meet: weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, and for how long. Each meeting can include 3 main parts: brief updates on progress and challenges, a focused discussion on 1 or 2 members' most significant current issues or opportunities, and clear commitments for action before the next meeting. Over time, this rhythm creates accountability and steady progress. Beyond the practical exchange of ideas, there is a deeper benefit. The emotional environment of a true mastermind can protect you from the fears and doubts that destroy many dreams. When you face setbacks, your group can remind you of your strengths and your vision. When you start thinking too small, they can challenge you to expand your goals. When you are tempted to quit, seeing others continue to push forward can reignite your own persistence. The mastermind principle also applies even if you do not yet have a formal group. You can create a kind of mental mastermind by studying the lives and ideas of great thinkers, leaders, and creators from the past and present. Through their books, talks, and work, you can expose your mind to their strategies and philosophies. While this is not a full substitute for real-time interaction, it still expands your thinking far beyond your personal experience. To apply this chapter, start by asking, who are 3 to 5 people I know, or could get to know, who are serious about growth and whose skills or perspectives complement mine? Reach out to 1 or 2 of them and propose a simple trial. Meet online or in person once a week for a month, with a clear agenda and time limit. If the energy is good and everyone finds value, formalize the group. If not, keep searching until you find the right combination. Remember that you must also bring value to the mastermind. Share your knowledge freely. Be honest about your challenges. Follow through on your commitments so others can trust you. The more you give, the more you will receive, not just in advice, but in connections, opportunities, and inner strength. The power of the mastermind is one of the biggest multipliers of all the steps in this philosophy. It amplifies your desire, strengthens your faith, enriches your knowledge, sharpens your plans, and fuels your persistence. You are no longer one person pushing alone. You are part of a collective force moving in the same direction. In the next chapter, you will explore another powerful but often misunderstood force, the energy of sex transmutation, and how it can be redirected into creativity, ambition, and Chapter 11, The Mystery of Sex. Transmutation, the 10th step toward riches. There is a powerful energy inside every human being that most people only use in one direction: physical desire. That same energy, when understood and redirected, can become a source of creativity, ambition, and intense drive. This is what is meant by sex transmutation, the process of taking sexual energy and transforming it into mental, emotional, and spiritual power that pushes you toward achievement. Sex energy is one of the strongest forces in human nature. It can lead people to take big risks, change their behavior, and act with unusual courage or intensity. History and everyday life show how much people are willing to do for love, attraction, or desire. The key idea in this chapter is not to suppress or deny this energy, but to channel it. When this instinct is combined with purpose, discipline, and imagination, it becomes a fuel for great work instead of a distraction that pulls you off your path. Many highly successful people, artists, leaders, entrepreneurs, have unusually strong emotional lives. They feel deeply, and they often have a strong capacity for love, romance, and passion. What sets them apart is that they allow these emotions to inspire their work. Their feelings are not wasted only on impulsive pleasures. Instead, they use the intensity of their emotional nature to drive long hours of focused effort, bold ideas, and courageous action. Sex transmutation begins with awareness. Notice how your energy rises when you are attracted to someone, when you're in love, or even when you are simply imagining a romantic or intimate connection. In those moments, your mind is sharper, your confidence is higher, and your imagination is more active. Instead of letting that energy be expressed only physically or through endless fantasy, you can choose to direct it into your goals, creating, building, learning, performing. This does not mean you must avoid relationships or deny your body. It means you treat sexual energy with respect instead of letting it control you. Excessive indulgence, constant chasing of pleasure, pornography addiction, or serial superficial relationships often weakens focus and drains ambition. Discipline, on the other hand, allows you to keep your mind clear and your energy available for higher purposes when needed. One practical way to use this principle is to notice when your energy is high and deliberately connect it to your work. If you feel a surge of emotion, whether from attraction, love, or even frustration, sit down and create. Write, design, plan, practice your craft, or push forward on your business. Train your mind to associate strong feelings with productive action. Over time, your brain will start using emotional energy as a trigger for focus instead of distraction. Another aspect of this chapter is the importance of a deep and healthy romantic partnership. The love and support of the right person can elevate your ambition, steady your emotions, and increase your sense of purpose. Many men and women reach their highest levels of achievement after forming a relationship where they feel truly seen, respected, and inspired. In such a partnership, sexual, emotional, and intellectual energies combine to create a powerful driving force towards success. However, the wrong relationships can do the opposite. Constant drama, jealousy, manipulation, or lack of shared values can drain your energy, damage your confidence, and pull you away from your goals. Part of mastering this principle is choosing carefully whom you allow close to you and being honest about whether your intimate connections are helping you grow or holding you back. To apply this chapter, start by being honest about how you currently use your sexual energy. Ask yourself, is this energy mostly pushing me toward my goals or pulling me away from them? If you find that it often leads to distraction, guilt, or loss of focus, consider setting new boundaries for yourself. Less time in empty habits, more time in creative work and meaningful connection. When you feel strong emotion, pause and ask, how can I turn this into fuel? Sex transmutation is not about shame. It is about transformation. It recognizes that one of the strongest forces in your nature can either control you or be guided by you. When directed wisely, it adds intensity, magnetism, and staying power to all the other steps in this philosophy. In the next chapter, you will see how this energy, along with your thoughts and emotions, interacts with one of the most mysterious parts of your mind, the subconscious, the connecting link between your conscious desires and their eventual reality. Chapter 12, The Subconscious Mind, the 11th Step Toward Riches. There is a part of your mind that never sleeps, never stops, and never forgets. It quietly records every experience, every emotion, every belief, and every repeated thought you allow. This part is called the subconscious mind. You cannot see it or touch it, but it strongly influences how you feel, what you notice, and how you react. It is the connecting link between your conscious desires and the results that show up in your life. Your subconscious mind does not think in the way your conscious mind does. It does not reason or argue. It accepts what you repeatedly tell it, especially when your words are charged with emotion. And then it works in the background to turn those ideas into reality. It influences your habits, your level of confidence, your automatic reactions, and even the opportunities you seem to attract. When you say to yourself over and over, I'm not good enough, money is impossible for me, or nothing ever works out, your subconscious mind accepts those statements as instructions and behaves accordingly. The subconscious mind responds to both negative and positive input, and it does not care which one you choose. If you constantly feed it images of fear, failure, and limitation, it will quietly organize your behavior to match those expectations. If you consistently feed it images of growth, capability, and success, it will work to align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with those expectations instead. This is why earlier chapters emphasized autosuggestion, fail, and emotional control. They are your main tools for influencing the subconscious. Your subconscious mind is especially sensitive to repetition and emotion. A thought you think once may pass quickly. A thought you repeat daily with strong feeling sinks deep. When you combine a clear desire, a definite plan, and repeated affirmations with visualization, you are giving your subconscious mind a precise picture of what you want. Over time, it begins to guide you through intuitive nudges, sudden ideas, and an increased awareness of chances that match your goal. This inner part of you also communicates through emotion and instinct. Sometimes you just know that a certain situation is wrong for you, or you feel strangely drawn toward a new idea or opportunity. While you should not follow every feeling blindly, it is wise to pay attention. Often your subconscious is making connections based on information you have noticed but not consciously processed. It sees patterns and possibilities your conscious mind might miss. One of the most practical ways to work with your subconscious mind is through a daily mental routine. This can be simple. Each morning and night, read your written statement of desire. Visualize your goal as already in progress. Feel gratitude for what you have and for what is coming, and refuse to dwell on images of failure. When negative thoughts appear, and they will, acknowledge them, then deliberately replace them with thoughts that support your future instead of your fears. Your subconscious mind is also strongly influenced by the environment you live in, the people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the words you hear repeatedly. If you are surrounded by constant pessimism, complaints, and mockery of ambition, that negativity gradually sinks into your deeper mind. To protect and program your subconscious, you must be selective. Choose relationships, information, and experiences that reinforce the beliefs you want to grow. Sleep is another important channel. The last thoughts you hold in your mind before you fall asleep tend to sink directly into your subconscious. Instead of ending the day with worry, anger, or pointless scrolling, use the final minutes before sleep to repeat your affirmations, visualize your goals, and feel appreciation. In this relaxed state, your subconscious is more open, and you are quietly giving it new instructions for the night. To apply this chapter, treat your subconscious mind as a powerful but obedient servant. It will work hard on whatever orders you give it, but it takes those orders from your dominant thoughts and feelings, not from your occasional wishes. Decide what you want it to focus on. Then every day feed it the right images, words, and emotions. Be patient. Just as a seed takes time to grow underground before breaking the surface, your inner changes may not be visible immediately, but with consistent input, your outer life will begin to reflect what you have been planting inside. The subconscious mind is the bridge between your conscious efforts and the unseen forces that seem to arrange circumstances in your favor. When aligned with desire, faith, autosuggestion, and disciplined action, it becomes a quiet but unstoppable ally. In the next chapter, you will move to another remarkable aspect of your inner world, the brain itself, viewed as a broadcasting and receiving station for the. Chapter 13, The Brain, the 12th Step Toward Riches. Your brain is more than a physical organ that stores memories and runs your body. In this philosophy, it is viewed as a kind of broadcasting and receiving station for thought. Every thought you hold with emotion sends out a subtle signal, and at the same time, your brain is constantly picking up signals from other minds and from your deeper self. This idea may sound abstract, but its effects are practical. The quality of your thinking determines the quality of what you attract, notice, and create. When you focus intensely on a goal, repeat it often and charge it with desire and faith, your brain becomes tuned to that goal, like a radio tuned to a certain frequency. You start to notice information, people, and opportunities that align with what you are focused on. They may have been present before, but now your mind filters them differently. At the same time, your attitude and energy change, and other people feel it. You appear more confident, more purposeful, and more alive. And this draws the right kind of attention and cooperation. Thoughts are not just private events. They influence your posture, your tone of voice, your facial expressions, and your decisions. People around you sense these signals, even if they cannot explain how. This is why certain individuals seem magnetic. They carry a clear inner picture of where they are going and a strong emotion around it. Their brain, in a sense, is constantly broadcasting. Others pick up that message and either feel inspired to support it or threatened by it, depending on their own mindset. The brain is also the instrument through which you access creative imagination and intuition. When you calm your mind, focus on a question, and hold a strong desire for an answer, you often receive insights that feel as if they came from beyond your usual thinking. Some call this inspiration, others call it a connection to a higher intelligence or collective mind. Regardless of the label, the key is that your brain can receive ideas that are larger than your current knowledge when you are open, focused, and emotionally engaged with a purpose. Your mental frequency is heavily influenced by your dominant emotions. Positive emotions such as love, enthusiasm, hope, and gratitude tend to raise your mental state and open you to better ideas and connections. Negative emotions such as fear, anger, jealousy, and hatred lower your mental state and tune you to a very different level, where you see more problems than possibilities. You cannot completely avoid negative feelings, but you can refuse to let them dominate your inner climate. To use your brain effectively as a broadcasting and receiving station, you must control what you repeatedly think and feel. This does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to return again and again to thoughts that support your growth instead of your destruction. It means feeding your mind with books, ideas, people, and environments that lift your thinking rather than poison it. A practical way to work with this step is to build daily rituals that tune your brain to the frequency of your desires. In the morning, spend a few minutes reviewing your goals, visualizing them as real, and feeling gratitude in advance. During the day, when you face challenges, pause and ask, what is the opportunity here? What is this trying to teach me? At night, reflect on the progress you made and repeat your affirmations before sleep. These simple practices keep your brain broadcasting clear, consistent signals. Remember that your brain is sensitive to the company you keep. When you surround yourself with people who complain, gossip, and expect the worst, your own thinking is pulled in that direction. When you spend time with people who think big, take responsibility, and move toward goals, your thinking is lifted. Be selective about who has regular access to your attention and emotions. The brain, guided by desire, faith, autosuggestion, and emotion, becomes a powerful tool for shaping your reality from the inside out. It connects you to your subconscious mind, to your imagination, and, if you accept the idea, to a wider field of intelligence that seems to reward focused, persistent thought. In the final step of this philosophy, you will see how all of these elements come together in a higher form of guidance. The sixth sense, the subtle faculty through which ideas, warnings, and opportunities reach you in ways that logic alone cannot explain. Chapter 14. The Sixth Sense, the 13th step toward riches. After working with desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, decision, persistence, the mastermind, sex transmutation, the subconscious mind, and the brain, one more element remains, a subtle faculty often called the sixth sense. In this philosophy, the sixth sense is described as the door to the temple of wisdom. It is the channel through which ideas, warnings, and insights sometimes arrive without any clear logical path. It is not something you can control directly, but it can be developed and trusted over time. The sixth sense often shows up as intuition, a quiet inner voice, a sudden feeling that you should or should not do something, a clear idea that appears while you are relaxed, or a strong sense of direction that does not come from analysis alone. Many highly successful people report that their biggest decisions were influenced not only by facts and data, but by a deep inner knowing that they could not fully explain. They learn to listen when this faculty speaks, especially when it is consistent with their values and long-term goals. It is important to understand that the sixth sense does not replace thinking, planning, or research. It complements them. You still need to gather information, weigh options, and use reason. But once you have done your best with logic, there are moments where a choice remains uncertain. In those moments, the sixth sense can tilt the balance. It can guide you toward an opportunity you might otherwise ignore, or warn you away from a path that looks good on the surface but feels wrong at a deeper level. This inner guidance becomes more reliable when the rest of your life is aligned with the earlier steps. A mind filled with fear, resentment, and confusion will generate mixed signals. A mind trained through positive desire, faith, self-discipline, and honest living is more likely to receive clear impressions. When you consistently feed your subconscious with constructive thoughts and act with integrity, you create an inner environment where the sixth sense can operate without constant interference from anxiety and selfish impulses. You cannot force the sixth sense to speak, but you can invite it. Quiet moments of reflection, meditation, prayer, or deep thinking create space for subtle impressions to surface. Many people notice that their best ideas come while walking, showering, resting, or doing simple tasks. In those moments, the conscious mind relaxes, and deeper levels of awareness can rise. Paying attention, keeping a notebook nearby, and acting respectfully toward these insights strengthens the connection. To apply this chapter, do not chase mystical experiences. Instead, build a calm, focused mind through daily habits, clear goals, honest work, regular reflection, and emotional control. When an intuitive feeling appears, especially one that repeats over time, examine it carefully. Ask, does this align with my values? Does it support my long-term growth, or is it just a shortcut for the comfort? Combine intuition with reason. When both point in the same direction, move with confidence. The sixth sense is the final step because it depends on all the others. As you practice desire, faith, autosuggestion, learning, imagination, planning, decision, persistence, collaboration, disciplined energy, subconscious programming, and mental control, you gradually raise your level of awareness. At that level, you begin to sense guidance that feels as if it comes from beyond your normal thinking. Whether you view this as spiritual, psychological, or both, it can become a powerful ally. Taken together, the 13 steps of this philosophy form a complete approach to building riches in any area of life. The sixth sense is like a quiet partner at the end of the table, often silent but sometimes speaking with a clarity that changes everything. When it does, the wisest thing you can do is listen, test, and then act. Chapter 15. How to Outwit the 6 Ghosts of Fear. Even with clear desire, strong faith, powerful habits, and all the other steps in place, one hidden enemy can still quietly destroy your progress. Fear. Fear changes how you think, how you see yourself, and what you dare to attempt. This philosophy describes 6 basic fears that haunt most people to different degrees. Fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. These are the ghosts you must learn to recognize and defeat. Fear of poverty is one of the most powerful. It shows up as constant worry about money, paralysis when it is time to invest in yourself or your ideas, and a deep belief that you will never have enough. This fear can make people accept bad jobs, stay in unhealthy situations, or betray their own values just to feel temporarily safe. To outwit this fear, you must build a mindset of responsibility and possibility, believing that you can create value, that skills can be developed, and that money is a tool you can learn to manage, not a monster that controls your life. Clear plans, disciplined saving and investing, and a focus on serving others all weaken this fear. Fear of criticism is another major enemy. It keeps you from starting projects, sharing your work, or making bold decisions because you worry about what others might say or think. Many dreams die before they begin because their owners are more loyal to other people's opinions than to their own purpose. To defeat this ghost, you must decide whose opinion truly matters and why. Respectful feedback, but stop giving so much power to casual judgment from people who are not willing to take risks themselves. Courage grows each time you act in alignment with your values, even when others do not understand. Fear of ill health, loss of love, old age, and death is also used by your mind to create unnecessary suffering. Fear of illness can keep you obsessed with symptoms instead of calmly taking care of your body. Fear of losing love can lead to jealousy, control, and unhealthy dependence. Fear of aging can make you feel too late at every stage of life. Fear of death can make you so anxious about the end that you forget to live fully now. While these fears are understandable, they become destructive when they dominate your thinking. The common root of all these ghosts is negative, uncontrolled thinking. The mind is always active. If you do not direct it, it tends to drift toward worry, self-doubt, and worst-case scenarios. The earlier steps in this philosophy, especially autosuggestion, control of the subconscious mind, and the cultivation of positive emotions, give you tools to fight back. You cannot stop fear from ever appearing, but you can refuse to let it sit in the driver's seat. A practical way to outwit these ghosts is to perform regular self-analysis. Sit down with honesty and ask yourself questions such as, where am I hesitating because of fear? Which fear shows up most often in my thoughts? What excuses am I using to hide my lack of action? Write down your answers. Naming your fears reduces their power. Then for each fear, decide on one small but concrete action that moves in the opposite direction. Action is one of the most effective antidotes to fear. Another key strategy is to deliberately cultivate positive emotions: courage, gratitude, love, and determination. Fear and faith cannot dominate your mind at the same time. When you repeatedly feed your mind with thoughts of possibility and focus on what you can control, the ghosts of fear lose their grip. Surrounding yourself with people who think constructively, consuming content that strengthens your mindset, and maintaining healthy habits also protects you from unnecessary fear. In the end, outwitting the 6 ghosts of fear is about reclaiming your inner authority. It is about recognizing that while you cannot control everything that happens in life, you can control how you respond, what you dwell on, and what you move toward. When you decide to live guided by purpose instead of fear, the 13 steps of this philosophy can fully express their power. At that point, riches become more than money. They become a way of living with clarity, courage, and meaning. Conclusion: you have now reached the end of this Think and Grow Rich journey. You have heard how desire becomes the starting point of all achievement, how faith turns that desire into confident expectation, and how autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, and organized planning give it structure and direction. You have seen how decision and persistence protect your goals from doubt and delay, how the mastermind multiplies your power, and how sex transmutation, the subconscious mind, the brain, and the sixth sense connect you to deeper levels of creativity and guidance. Listening to these ideas is only the first step. Real change begins when you choose a clear goal, write it down, build daily habits around it, and return to these principles whenever you feel lost or discouraged. If you treat this audiobook as a working manual, replaying key chapters, doing the exercises, and applying the lessons in your work, relationships, and finances, you will gradually notice your thinking, decisions, and results begin to shift. If this content helped you, share it with someone who needs a new way of looking at success and possibility. Save this audio. Come back to it in difficult seasons and let it remind you that your mind, your choices, and your persistence are far more powerful than your current circumstances. Thank you for listening, and remember, the way you think every single day is the foundation on which you will either remain the same or truly grow rich in every area that matters.